How good is it?
Live?
This studio.
Did you just call it a studio?
It's the studio. This studio, we are in the very first $1 Million Days studio. For those of you watching at home, it's still a work in progress, but it is its own dedicated studio podcast room.
But you know what it is?
What's that?
It's a work in progress because we can't drop the ball, George. This is episode 65 in a row. Every single week. We haven't missed yet. Because it's one day it might happen. I don't know.
It might.
But currently, we're on a streak. I'm going to be very sad if we ever miss an episode. And you're going to be sad too.
Oh,
Listening.
as in the listeners?
The listeners.
Yeah,
of
they're going to
course,
cry.
yeah. Anyway, 2025, well underway. Lots happening. Australian Open. How are you?
I'm really good. It's been a hectic start to the year. Much busier than I thought it would be, in the sense of there was just so much going on. Literally day one, it was like bang, hit the ground running. 1,000 emails, 1,000 things happening, people sick, like all those challenges. I've got 3 people away sick today, whilst we're filming this podcast. Fuck. What are you guys doing? Holiday mode still.
I've had a couple of people say to me, 2025 has started off chaotic. Like a few people have come back, like I've just, back into things, getting in touch with everyone. And a few people are like, man, it's been a bad start to the year. This has happened. That's happened. Dude, I spoke to a client, had a motorbike accident, broke several bones. I spoke to another client. He's like, he's someone he knows had an accident in Bali, broke several bones overseas.
Yeah, that'd be bad overseas and in Bali.
Yeah, I also know someone who went through a glass wall overseas late last year, like in Bali as well.
Yeah. How funny you mentioned that now. My old man's in hospital. My old man just got out of hospital, and my mother-in-law is still in hospital.
Dude, everyone seems to be getting hurt.
Yeah.
And people are like, 2025 is not off to a great start. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah. This is sick. I've had
people are dying and I'm all right.
I've had a great start in the sense of a lot's been happening.
Yeah.
Like a lot. I now live and work in a different place.
Yeah.
My whole life has completely switched around.
180.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm sleeping in a different place. I come to work in a different place. Doing the same things. But it's just like my commute has first drive to work today.
How good?
Yeah. And I was like, this is not a bad drive. There's not much traffic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, was that all right?
Yeah, I was here in like 15 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how much it's when you go home as well.
Yeah, depending on what time I leave, I think if you leave at sort of 5:30, because you come through the city, you'll cop it. I just want to leave at 5:30.
Just listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, when you listen to the podcast, you've subscribed, haven't you?
Me?
Yeah.
I was the first subscriber.
Were you really?
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. The very first number one.
The first. And I won't be the last.
But other people could do that as well when they're driving home.
Yeah.
They could subscribe.
Our subscribers are building.
I'm
People
not surprised.
must be listening.
Not surprised.
You know what I mean? They're listening and they're taking action. And I like that.
I hear what you're saying with all that there's shit going on, but everything is how you make it. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, like both my mother-in-law and my old man, both in hospital for quite serious things, actually. You know, they got really sick. They both got infections, which then spread to other areas, and it's like, it could have gone the other way completely. But even like I've got 3 people away sick today. I've had a hectic start to the year. I haven't lost enthusiasm. I haven't been like, this year's fucked. Let me go back on holidays. What a joke. It's what you make it when the situation comes up. And, even the broken bones with these people overseas, falling off a bike, whatever it might be. Like, again, everything you make it. Yes, it's bad, but hey, maybe you meet the love of your life at the hospital.
That's a positive spin.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you will miss 100% of the opportunities that you're not looking for. If you're there feeling sorry for yourself and going, this is the worst, that's what's going to happen, the worst.
Perception is reality.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Do you know what I mean? There's a really good, I saw a clip And I know we quote him all the time, Hormozy. But I saw a clip, and this is an extreme view, and he's an extremist. Let's be super clear. He is an extreme business person.
Yeah, without a doubt.
He has zero emotion, 100% logic. That's his way of thinking, and I respect it. And he says this thing, and he's like, 2024, 2025, right? He's like, current modern society, 15-year-old girl sleeps with 40-year-old man, she's traumatized. He goes, 100 years ago, 15-year-old girl gets married off to 40-year-old man and sleeps with him, she's got a happy life and she has kids. And he goes, exactly the same behavior. He goes, society has changed what it means, and therefore that person is traumatized by it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But they're traumatized by it. Like, he goes, the actions are the exact same thing. He goes, we're traumatized because we've now labeled that a bad thing. He goes, the action alone, if you take all emotion out of it, one person had a nice life and got to have kids at a young age and was a young mum, and the other person was a victim.
Yeah. And it was acceptable back then, like even from the perception of that whole relationship. People wouldn't have frowned upon it.
Just to be clear, not saying the person who has that happen to them today is not a victim. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just giving you an example of the difference between this and that, right?
And I said that too. I listened to that podcast.
Yeah, and he's like, it's your perception on things, right? Two people can have the exact same things happen. Like, someone can say, man, you know, gave me the perfect wake-up call.
Yeah.
And it changed my life. And the other person can say, this year's off to the worst start ever. And I'm, this and that. And it's just been bad and chaotic and bad things are happening. And
yeah. I was listening to another podcast. I can't remember which one it was the other day, but they were saying how the guy's mum was in hospital and the doctor was about to go in and give her news that she was terminally ill. Like, you're gone in 3 months. And then the son was outside of the room and says, you do not go in there and tell her that. If you tell her that, she will die in a fucking week.
Who was that?
I can't remember. I'll figure it out.
I know a story like that too.
And he's like, do not go there and say that. And like, he was arguing, he was punching on with the doctors. No, we have to tell her, we've got a duty. I said, you fucking tell her, I'll knock you out. Do not go in there and tell her that. She will die when she dies in her own way. Right, do not go in there. She'll be gone in a week instead of in 3 months or 6 months or however much time we have with her. She'll just be sitting there worrying about every single second and every single day that she has, and she'll be gone in no time. She ended up living another 80 years or so, not 80, but she ended up living till a ripe old age as a result of not being told that news because her mind didn't kill her sooner.
Oh, dude, placebo is
huge.
A real thing.
Huge. I was saying that the other day with my wife was saying it to me actually with my mother-in-law. She's like, she's the type of person, you got to be positive around her. As soon as give her the bad news, she'll be doom and gloom. Completely doom and gloom. Whereas my old man...
women are more prone to this than men.
Yeah, well, they're more emotional, aren't they? Whereas my old man was in hospital. He was quite serious. He got, he had a stomach bug, which became a kidney infection, which he got fluid in his lungs and fluid in his heart. Like, if he left it and didn't go to the hospital, he could have carked it. And I was talking to him literally the next day after I found out. So I found out at night time he was in there, and he was okay at that time. But the next day I spoke to him, and he sounded like I speak to him every other day. He's like, yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah,
he goes, I feel 10 times better. He goes, it was bad. Like, he goes, I felt like shit. He goes, it was bad, but he goes, I feel 10 times better now that I've had some drip and this and medicine and all that sort of stuff. So,
shout out to Steve. He's
we're going to get him on the...
he's our number one listener.
Number one listener. Criticises us for having 3 views on YouTube.
Yeah,
but
he definitely doesn't hold back.
No, we'll get him on the podcast one day, and I think it'll be a great chat. And that's going to be cool too, right? Purely from the perspective is, how good's it going to be for myself, selfishly, in... How old is he now? He's in his mid-60s. 40, 50 years' time, whenever he's not around, I can go back and listen to that podcast episode and watch that. Or my kids can do that in 20, 30, 40 years, however long it's going to be before he kicks the bucket. But to go back and actually look at that and go, oh, that's what he thought. Oh, it was so good to have that chat. That's going to be cool. And that's what I love about what we're doing here, is that legacy.
Lives forever.
It lives forever. As long as the internet doesn't shut down.
Why would the internet shut down? What's going to happen is the internet is going to become overlaid on life.
What do you mean by that?
That's what's going to happen. It's not going to shut down. So right now, we have devices that connect us. What's going to happen is it's going to become part of reality. So like instead of, hey, go on the screen or the device that connects us to the internet is going to be part of, it's going to be overlay, like picture,
Yeah.
I got the internet and I just, you know what I mean? Like the internet
on
is
top.
now around us. And it's like, cool, we can see Google there.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what's going to happen, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying if as long as we're still around, the human race.
Oh, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah. So it's always going to be there, you know, and then even my children can watch this in the years to come when I'm not here, or my great-grandchildren or my great-great-grandchildren. They can come on this podcast, listen to some sick shit, and then implement that into their life and just make some huge changes. And hey, I love you.
There you go. If you like that clip and you want to watch another one, click just over here. And if you want to watch the full episode, click just over here. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and thanks for watching.